So I just watched Thor 4 starring Gore. There were laughs and fears and yells and screams galore. Did it leave me wanting more? Or was it a film that I abhor? Should I stop this bit? Or am I going on a tour de force? Yeah, no, this is stupid. Thor Love and Thunder is a film directed by Taika Waititi. It stars Chris Hemsworth yet again as Thor, Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, and her name, what's her name? She has a name, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie again. And yeah, so going into this movie, it was a movie that I was definitely eager to see it, because it's a new Marvel movie, but I didn't love Ragnarok as much as most people. I think my main problem with it was that I think it was very silly and funny, but I didn't feel like the emotional beats hit as much as I would have liked for them to. And I'm actually one of the few people that I don't mind the other two Thor movies, even Thor: The Dark World. The stuff on Earth isn't particularly great, but I actually I felt like Asgard was a really interesting and cool aspect of or and blend of fantasy and sci-fi, and I was I wanted to I would have loved to at some point have seen a Thor movie completely set on Asgard. And we never really got that. They were always trying to shove Earth and oh look, it's Kat Dennings being goofy in your face. And so, but anyways, when I saw Thor Ragnarok and they just completely got rid of that aspect, well, for the most part they got rid of that aspect. They went so far as to destroy Asgard. I was like, eh. And then it totally leaned into the whole Taika Waititi comedic stuff, and I'm like, this is funny. I don't mind it, but the emotional beats didn't hit as strong, like I said before. And so, in Thor: Love and Thunder, they absolutely double down on that humor. If you didn't like the Taika Waititi humor in Thor Ragnarok, this movie is full of it. So you may not enjoy this, but I am happy to report that the emotional beats in this work way better. I didn't feel really the emotion that was trying to be conveyed. I didn't feel like it was clouded by the humor. I thought they were pretty effective, and that sort of led me to walk out of the movie being pretty pleased with it actually. I don't think it's amazing or anything. I don't think it's the greatest movie in the history of cinema, but I think it's totally enjoyable. I think Chris Hemsworth has just completely owned this character for some time now. I think he really came into his own. Probably I would say in the first Avengers movie maybe. Or yeah, no, I mean, you know what? No. I I was influenced by people, right? Because I was about to say that he came into his own in Thor Ragnarok or something. But no, he's always been good as Thor. And he's still good as Thor, okay? I like the first two Thor movies. I'm going to stamp my ground and say that. But no, yeah, Chris Hemsworth is still great as Thor. One of the weaker parts of those first two Thor movies was Natalie Portman's Jane Foster. I didn't mind the character herself, but I did not like their relationship. I felt like that was one of the worst relationships in a comic book movie. But they made it work in this one, and they even went so far as to make me appreciate, well, not appreciate those the relationships, or not appreciate their relationship in the first two movies, but they kind of fill in the gaps of what happened to them. And I actually really grew to like them together. I guess Taika Waititi just made them have chemistry now, which was really fun. And I really liked what they did with the Jane Foster character as well. This is not a spoiler to say that she ends up wielding Mjolnir and she becomes a Lady Thor, or I think her official name is Mighty Thor. And you're gonna have your crowd of people being like, oh, oh, the SJWs, oh, they're shoving women in your face. Those people are out there. I I don't. I'm fine with a woman being in a movie and doing cool things. I don't know. Those people are silly, obviously, but yeah, I thought she was good in the movie. Also, I thought Valkyrie was pretty good in the movie. Like, she actually gets a couple of scenes where you kind of feel where that character is coming from, and I was like, oh, ooh, they're giving Tessa Thompson some time to act, and she acted, and she expressed those emotions well. That was that was the most bizarre description for a scene I've ever heard. Why, I don't know why I said that. I don't. But yeah, Tessa Thompson was good in it. Christian Bale was really good as Gore the God Butcher, but I mean it's Christian Bale, so obviously he's gonna be good. I don't know. Like I don't like, I liked what they did with the character, but I thought it could have just been executed a bit better. Like I don't know. I like I don't even know what was missing. Like I can't tell you, but it feels like something was missing with that character. But it was still good. Like I definitely appreciated it. Um and But yeah, overall, like the action, it's a Marvel movie. It was cool. I don't know. I do feel like they probably did some cooler stuff with Thor in the other movies. Like, I don't know. There wasn't really a moment in the action where I was like, whoa, that's awesome. Actually, no, that's not true. There's like a moment, and you can see it in the trailer, where Jane, because she has like the Mjolnir that was fractured, because after Hela broke it or whatever with her hand, where she like swings the hammer, and then the shards like break and like just expel out and kills people. Every time she did that, it was actually really cool. But aside from that, I don't know. There wasn't anything where that made me go, "Blah, blah, blah, blah." It was amazing, right? Like there's no moment really like an Infinity War when Thor lands in Wakanda and it's like hype. This is so hype, hype, bro, hype. But but I mean overall the action was perfectly serviceable. And yeah, I guess. Oh, and I guess another critique that I will do before I get into spoiler stuff. The music wasn't as effectively used. Like, um, I don't remember what the song was that they used in Ragnarok, but like that's like the Ragnarok song, right? That's the Thor song now, like the like there's not really that song in this movie, and I feel like there could have been, and there should have been. Like there's that one song in the trailer that I kind of thought was gonna be it, and it is used in the movie, but not nearly to as an effect as effective to as an effective extent. What am I saying? It wasn't as effective. But anyways, overall, really solid movie. I really enjoyed it. I think if you're like me, where you didn't love Thor Ragnarok because you thought the humor overshadowed, it just being a good movie, I would say this movie definitely does a better job of balancing those two things. If you just straight up didn't like the humor, you're not gonna like this movie because I mean, there's still a lot of that humor. Um, but it's not that I ever disliked the humor. I would have just liked, I like my junk food, but then give me some vegetables, give me some nutrients, and I thought this one gave me the nutrients. So, I left the movie being satisfied. um, but yeah, now I'm gonna get into some spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, leave. You know, take your cute little ass, go watch the movie, then come back. You can press pause, go watch the movie, then come back. Okay? Because in 3, 2, 1, that ending that was like the exact same ending as God of War. I guess spoilers for God of War, but God of War. So okay, so this is kind of weird to think about. So the ending of God of War, it ends with like Kratos and his son, because he also has a son, much like Thor now has a daughter. But Kratos has like a son, and so it ends. I don't remember exactly how they end. Oh no, yeah, it ends, and then the Thor in God of War comes in to fight them, and this ending ends with, or like the after credit scene of this, it ends with Hercules coming in to fight Thor, it's a weird mixture of things, but it felt very similar, and I thought that was actually kind of cool. Um, but yeah, okay. Other spoiler things. Yeah. So I was wondering because I knew about the Jane cancer storyline from the comics, and I was like, that I like. Are they gonna do that? Because that would be a very effective like narrative device, and they totally did it. And I thought it was really well done. I mean, I like the idea of like, Jane has kind of spent her life helping people, and I like that whole idea of, not only is it to please herself because she likes being Thor, but she also ends up, wielding the hammer for the last time because she wants to help those kids, because she wants to help Thor. And I think, I always like it when they establish what like being a hero means and like a superhero thing. That's always super cool to see. Um, and with Thor is one of those characters that kind of felt played out a bit, to a certain extent to a lot of people. And I definitely think Marvel, even though I didn't love Ragnarok as much as most people, but I appreciate that they keep on finding ways of keeping him interesting and keeping people engaged with the character. And yeah, I mean him sort of being like lost, having been lost this entire time, and like him finding himself like ready to love again. I was like, that was actually like a really compelling way for that character to go. And then, with the end at the end of this movie where he has a daughter, and it's revealed that Love and the subtitle Love and Thunder is actually in reference to those two characters. I'm like, that's really cool. I thought that was super cool. I love Thor's journey in this movie, and him having a daughter. I mean, like when they revealed that, I was like, oh hell yeah, yeah. Like I'm definitely down to watch Thor 5, right? Like that was super awesome. Um, and yeah, so yeah, and then Valkyrie also was really cool in this movie. I really like this. I really liked what they did with with Gore and her, where they kind of talk about how like yeah the gods are kind of bad, right? Like they haven't necessarily been helping people in the Marvel universe, and I really like that scene where like where where Korg is like reminding Valkyrie of what happened in that battle and like her losses and like why she is the way she is, how she she drinks away her sorrows and all that. And they kind of play with that idea, with Gore, where it's like yeah, the gods sent you to battle like to die, and I kind of wish they would have done more with that idea. I wonder if that's something that we'll explore in the future movies. Maybe not though, but I thought that was super interesting. Also, yeah, so as far as Gore the God Butcher goes, I mean, he's a good character and he has a good backstory. I don't know if just the way it was executed, I feel like it could have been sadder, you know? Maybe it was a bit too abrupt starting off with that. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, but it didn't completely hit with me as much as I would have liked. But it definitely was effective, but I don't know. I would have liked to have been like on the verge of tears, right, watching his daughter die. Um although I was actually getting kind of teary-eyed like at the end, right, when he brings his daughter back. Like that was pretty effective. Although actually now that I think about it, that last scene was weird, and that's what kind of worries me about this actress. I actually think she's really good like at the very end, right? When, she's kind of bantering with Chris Hemsworth. I actually thought she was pretty good in that scene. But in the beginning, and maybe that's why it wasn't quite working for me, because in the opening scene, she just wasn't quite like selling the scene for me. And like at the very end, when her dad died, she did not have enough emotion for me. And it's one of those things where it's like she's a child actress. Like I don't want to like go too hard on her, but that's just I do actually think, now that I think about it, I do think that that's kind of what made made those scenes less effective is because the child actress wasn't quite selling it as well. But again, I thought she was. I really ended up liking her in that very final scene, and like that totally sold me on like a sequel with those two as the leads. But but yeah. Anyways, I don't know what else to talk about. Uh, the Greek gods were fun, I guess, or like that pantheon of gods. Like I thought that scene was fun. I think Russell Crowe as Zeus was really funny. Um, I guess the next movie is gonna be like a John Wick style movie where a bunch of gods are gonna be coming after Thor. I mean, that definitely sounds fun. Um, but yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. Like Hercules should be a fun character. And then we also I got like the other post credit scene where Natalie Portman is and Marvel. I mean, it's fine. I've long accepted it, but it's the Marvel fake death universe. They can't just kill off a character. Like of course or Jane had to wake up in Valhalla. Now I think it would be nice if they never went to Valhalla or like they never found Jane again and those characters stayed dead. That would be nice. That would be cool. I would respect and appreciate that. But something tells me that that's not going to happen. Like somehow Thor is going to go to Valhalla and get them. But it is what it is. People don't die in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Even if you technically are dead, you'll come back in a multiverse scenario. You'll be resurrected. It's fine. It is what it is. But yeah, overall, here's my overall thoughts on the movie. Thought it was good. I thought it was fun. I thought I enjoyed it more than Ragnarok, and I'm actually pretty hyped for like the next Thor movie because like seeing Thor as a dad just definitely like that's gonna make for an awesome movie. So let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. Also, like the video, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video, and goodbye.